of the Philippines Rebuilding Committee Director and entrepreneurs visit the Bohol Island to check out Tzuji's prefabricated classrooms. We meet Traffic Police Officer Chen Yikai in Taipei, Taiwan, who's recognized for his outstanding work over the past 6 years. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. In the Philippines, Tzuji volunteers continue to build prefabricated classrooms in schools across Bohol Island. Recently, the country's Rebuilding Committee Director Locsin and local entrepreneurs arrived at the Cortez Central Elementary School to check on the progress of the construction. Furthermore, thanks to collective effort of the volunteers and local residents, 7 prefabricated classrooms at the school are now complete. Under Tzuji volunteer Alfredo Lee's lead, Philippines Rebuilding Committee Director Locsin and local entrepreneurs arrived at Bohol Island. At the Cortez Central Elementary School, upon learning of the efforts of Tzuji volunteers in building prefabricated classrooms, guests expressed their amazement and appreciation.
Very nice design, It's adjustable. When it's hot, then you put it up. And then when it's raining, you put it down to protect the school children from the elements.
We are here to learn from the volunteers. The prefab classrooms are very good.
Next, the group takes a helicopter ride to Tubigon to visit the Holy Cross Academy. Looking out the window, they see firsthand the devastation the earthquake left behind.
Following the Bohol earthquake, many places suffer from landslides. We can see that many schools are located at the foot of mountains. That is very dangerous. That's why Tzuji's prefabricated classrooms are so important.
Touched by the volunteers' selfless gestures, local entrepreneur Shi Gongqi takes a moment to express his appreciation and gratitude.
Mr. Zheng Yan put a lot of thought into designing the prefab classrooms. She has taken the students' needs into consideration. I'm truly amazed by her spirit.
Near the end of their visit, the guests tried their hand at building to experience the hard work that the volunteers face daily. Meanwhile, joining the volunteers at working on the classrooms are 17-year-old Chris and 14-year-old Justin. 14-year-old Justin says he wants to contribute his share as his younger brother is a student at the school. Although the boy has to travel a long distance to the construction site, he is still determined to help.
My mother is very busy and my father has to work, so I decided to come here to help.
To show their support of Tzuji's mission, many parents also use their free time to contribute their love. Among those helping out are local resident Mira Magalan and her family.
We have nothing to do at home, so we came here to see if we can help out at the construction site. If there's nothing that we can do, we can help the teachers instead.
This is small business owner Patricio, who has been volunteering at the construction site during his spare time and on weekends for the past 3 months.
It is my responsibility to be here. These classrooms will benefit us.
Despite not getting paid, local residents are determined to contribute their love. Knowing that the Tzuji volunteers flew all the way to Bohol Island to help, they feel that it is their duty to join this good cause. Recently, Philippines Tzuji volunteers have rice distributions for survivors of Typhoon Haiyan in Ermac City. With assistance from the Department of Social Welfare, 50,000 bags of rice from Taiwan were imported tax-free. But first, we go to Tanawan and meet Adriano K. Rubin, who, in reciprocation of Tzuji's kindness, decided to name his store Tzuji.
Here in Leyte, this pedicab store has by far the best reputation for quality, and Tzuji volunteers are here to make a purchase. Typhoon Haiyan survivor Adriano K. Rubin lives in Tanawan, which is situated west of Leyte, while the pedicab store is situated in Carigara in the north. Despite having to travel a distance to the store, K. Rubin's gratefulness made the trip all the more worthwhile.
Salamat. Thank you.
Following Typhoon Haiyan, K. Rubin used the condolence cash he received from Tzuji to start his own business. However, without a pedicab, business was difficult.
I can go out and work every day now. It's not like before where I had to rent a pedicab or sometimes be out of work for 2 or 3 days, sometimes a week.
With his own pedicab, K. Ruben no longer has to worry about his livelihood, and in gratitude, he decided to name his store after Tzu Ji.
Tzu Ji is my savior, so I decided to name my store Tzu Ji.
The items hanging on the pedicab are the goods of K. Ruben's store. He and his family are full of excitement for the grand opening of his store.
Our life has improved significantly because of Tzu Ji. Now we can buy materials to rebuild our home.
Because of K. Ruben's honesty, business has been good from the start.
We don't have to travel to the market anymore. The items at his store are at a fair price.
With hope, love, and Tzu Ji's assistance, the K. Ruben family are sure to see a better future ahead. Focused and attentive as she listens to the volunteers on stage, Gianna Kapahi's affinity with Tzu Ji goes back to the time of Typhoon Haiyan.
Whenever I lift my head and see the roof, I am reminded that Tzu Ji gave this to me. Someone once wanted to buy the master's condolence letter and the blessing and wisdom red envelope from me for 20,000 pesos. I told them they're not for sale. They are something I will treasure forever.
Typhoon Haiyan destroyed Gianna's home, and it was through Tzu Ji's Cash for Work program that she was able to stand on her own 2 feet again.
My neighbors told me that Tzu Ji volunteers are here to distribute 20-kilogram bags of rice to us. I said to her, even if I were to receive just 1 kilogram of rice, I would be happy.
Although Gianna is materially poor, she's spiritually wealthy, as she donates her love into a coin bank each day. Ermelita Leonor, who is also at the rice distribution, managed to make repairs to her home thanks to the assistance of Tzu Ji. Recently, her plot of land is also ready for harvest.
I am so happy to receive this rice.
As Alice's husband suffers from disabilities and her son from Parkinson's disease, the family's financial burden rests squarely on her shoulders.
Life is hard for us, but we're still thankful for Tzu Ji's assistance.
Despite the pain and suffering that exists in society, there are also those who are reaching out to help.
In partnership with the Department of Social Welfare, we were able to import this rice tax-free.
Sila po ang nagsushoulder ng tax and duties niyan.
We are very happy to be able to deliver this rice into the hands of Omak's residents.
Those who give find contentment, and those who receive feel deep gratefulness. The outpouring of love and relief aid from Tzu Ji to the survivors will continue in the days to come.
In honor of Taiwan's National Police Day, we have prepared a special series to introduce several police officers from across the nation. Today we meet Taipei's traffic police officer Chen Yikai, who was recently recognized for his outstanding work.
不是，我的意思说，是我到了现场，我车辆故障是要打电话，还是刚好？
Whenever a red government-sanctioned tow truck goes on duty, it has to be accompanied by a traffic police officer such as Chen Yikai, who strictly enforces Taiwan's traffic regulations.
No one likes getting a ticket, but enforcing traffic laws is but a means to help prevent accidents from happening.
Chen is the busiest whenever there's a typhoon, for he has to help relocate vehicles parked outside of dikes, so they will not be flooded. During Typhoon Fido of 2013, Chen helped save some 500 vehicles from water damage after towing for 7 straight hours. For his dedication and exemplary service before typhoons, Chen was recently recognized. However, his job is not without dangers.
When we have to relocate vehicles, we are racing against time. Sometimes the water rises too quickly and floods the whole parking lot. Then even with our tow trucks there, the water will be too high for us to start towing.
As one of Chen's family members passed away due to an auto accident, he is dedicating himself to keeping the road safe for everyone.
Perhaps you don't want to get pulled over, so you decide to put on your helmet and this helps save your life. Then in a way, I'm cultivating blessings.
Though he may not be fighting criminals on the front line like a detective, Chen is doing what he believes is the right thing to do while protecting the life of citizens.
Everyone has their own definition of what justice is. I'm just doing what I believe is the right thing to do.
Next up in Thailand's Bangkok, we meet Professor Chris Animis of Chulalongkorn University and an expert in green living. Her philosophy of recycling, reuse, and conservation has also inspired her husbands to follow suit. Let's take a look.
This rooftop garden full of plants is the result of the hard work of Rasami Krisanamis, professor at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok. Other than a green finger, Rasami is also an expert in giving used items a second lease on life.
Many may think it's inconvenient to spend the extra effort to practice recycling, but I think it's a meaningful thing. We need to practice recycling on a daily basis. Environmentalism isn't just about using reusable bags.
Rasami is devoted to using environmentalism in her daily life. She not only collects used water, but also makes the most of everything she has purchased.
If an item is broken, we repair it instead of throwing it away. When we throw away an item, we need to put it into the right category for recycling. It depends on if you want to give an item a new lease on life or not.
For Rasami, recycling is a major part of her life, and her philosophy has motivated her husband to follow suit. His wallet is filled with reused plastic bags.
I fold plastic bags and put them in my wallet, so that when I buy something, I can use my own plastic bags to carry it home. Check this out. You can organize them tidily in your wallet this way. It's convenient and does not occupy too much space.
Showing their compassion for Mother Nature on a daily basis, this couple is truly an example for all to follow.
We have reports from the second round of the 2014 Global Tzu Chi Team Leaders Training Seminar currently ongoing at the Taichung Jingsi Hall. Later, we'll meet several Tzu Chi volunteers from abroad who have come to recharge themselves. But first, we go behind the scenes with some 70 media volunteers who mobilized for the event.
At the Taichung Jingsi Hall, kitchen volunteers are busy making meals for their fellow volunteers from abroad. After each meal, all kitchen scraps and fruit peels are turned into compost.
This is way too big. We need to cut it up. If it's too big, it will decompose too slowly.
To minimize clogging, water flowing down the drain is first sent into an oil-water separator.
We have 4 tanks here. They collect all the water discharged by this building.
As the hall is hosting the second round of the 2014 Global Tzu Chi Team Leaders Training Seminar, over 70 media volunteers have mobilized to document the event. Though Zhang Junrong suffers anhidrosis, he is also there to document the event with pen and paper.
If the temperature gets a bit warmer, my face will turn red. So for me to go outside to take pictures or record videos in the summer will just not be possible.
The media volunteers get up early and go to bed late every day.
We media volunteers really like to listen to the stories that we document with our cameras. They bring us immense dharma joy.
A husband and wife pair from China's Kunshan are just a few of those interviewed by the media volunteers. The couple says they are dedicating the rest of their lives to Ziji's work in Kunshan.
I vow to take on the role of a mother at our Kunshan office to make the place feel like home when other volunteers come visit. And to do that, I must first discipline myself and set a good example.
Feng Xuefen is the only volunteer from Vietnam. Due to differences in culture, it has not been easy for her to carry out Ziji's work back in her country.
They truly care for us volunteers from abroad. They will give us advice based on our respective regions, customs, and circumstances. It is touching.
Encouraged by her fellow volunteers, Feng now has the strength to carry on. Zhao Linghui from China's Guangdong has participated in the camp several times already. This time, he hopes to strengthen himself further.
We share with our brothers and sisters from other countries. We listen to the problems they've encountered and their solutions. This in turn inspires us and gives us ideas on how to solve our own troubles.
Through the exchange of ideas and experiences, these bodhisattvas find the strength and inspiration to remain steadfast on the Tzu Chi path.
In the past, Hualien Tzu Chi Elementary 5th grader Lin Zhiyou gave up on himself because he felt he could not keep up with his classmates. However, since participating in the Sanwu Chengchun volunteer project at the Five-Way House, Zhiyou has found new motivation.
A responsible hard worker, 5th grader Lin Zhiyou of the Hualien Tzu Chi Elementary School volunteers at the Five-Way House every week.
If every one of our children was like Zhiyou, then things would be so much easier here. He's very cooperative, very eager to help, reacts quickly to situations, and always has a smile on his face.
Finding joy in helping others, the 5th grader is an older brother to 3rd grader Ping An. Together, the two boys organize and help stock the shelves.
If you listen to Ping An talk, you can hear that he suffers from developmental delays. Other people Zhiyou's age might not have patience for people like him, but not Zhiyou. He doesn't get tired or upset at Ping An, even after a day of spending time together.
Zhiyou's patience has given Ping An support and more chances to smile.
This kind of acceptance and support is very rare. Even if Ping An continues to punch in the wrong numbers or distract Zhiyou, Zhiyou does not scold him. In our past experience, other children would have already pushed Ping An away.
Because of this friendship, Zhiyou was able to see himself in a new light and also decided to make a change.
When I see the children at the Five-Way House get upset, it makes me reflect on how angry and upset I used to get too. I wanted to make a change because I possess the potential to do so.
Zhiyou's English teacher has also seen a drastic change in him.
In the past, he totally gave up during English class, but I have been impressed with his improvement and his willingness to try. Through helping others at the Five-Way House, he is now motivated to try new things and thus has found his own self-worth. This is why we should encourage children to help others.
Zhiyou's family members have also seen his growth.
The more you give, the more benefits you reap. He was unable to understand why his actions in school were not well received by other students, and he was able to reflect and make a change. He's a wonderful child.
Using action to validate his words, the 5th grader wants the world to know, with determination, everyone has unlimited potential.
As a father, it would be difficult to not see the changes that have occurred in your own child. No matter what happens, I will be by his side. He has his whole life ahead of him.
At the five-way house, children find a renewed sense of self-worth and wisdom to change for the better.
In the United States, Houston Tzu Chi volunteers in Texas recently visited the Seeking Elementary School with secondhand books to give underprivileged children the chance to embrace the world of books. But first, we go to Northern California, Stockton, where Tzu Chi volunteers donated nearly 1,000 secondhand books and 200 Jingsi aphorisms booklets to the James Monroe Elementary School. Upon learning that the James Monroe Elementary School in Northern California is in need of reading materials, in less than 3 months, Tzu Chi volunteers have collected nearly 1,000 secondhand books. Today, the volunteers are here to present the books along with 200 Jingsi aphorisms booklets.
Okay, this is Chinese.
Yeah, that's Chinese.
We kind
English,
of try to.
This is Japanese and this one.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
When they see this, their eyes are just going to light up, and they're going to be so excited to see that they have books that they can have in their hands and read, and just enjoy learning and education.
Jeff Keller, the director of the local school district, hopes these books can help the school's disadvantaged children develop a good reading habit.
Libraries that are leveled so that every student has at their fingertips many books from which they can choose and read during the day, and eventually also take home.
Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Houston Academy in Texas, volunteers are also organizing a book donating event, helping students at the Seeking Elementary School. Tzu Chi volunteers also make it a point to deliver these books to the school.
G. Oh, G is so easy to pronounce, right?
As many students at the Seeking Elementary School come from impoverished families, their parents don't have the means to purchase extra reading materials. Knowing the importance of reading, school teacher Linda Chen, who is a Tzu Chi alumna, sought help from the volunteers.
They all kindly brought us the books. What do we say to them? Thank you. What do we say in Chinese? What do we say in Spanish?
Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' kindness, underprivileged children have the chance to embrace the world of books. In Taiwan's Kaohsiung, we meet 63-year-old care recipient Mr. Wong, who lives alone with his house cluttered with recyclables, which lead to sanitary problems that jeopardize his relations with his neighbors. Having been caring for the senior for 3 consecutive years, Tzu Chi volunteers finally persuade Mr. Wong to allow them to clean up his home.
Tzu Chi volunteers form a human chain to move recyclables out of the house where 63-year-old Mr. Wong lives. Unable to handle the junk he has collected, Mr. Wong's house is filled with bad odor that is now affecting his neighbors. With Mr. Wong's permission, nearly 30 Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help clean up the house.
Tzu Chi volunteers are also kind-hearted and compassionate.
Thank you, Tzu Chi volunteers. It's good to have you around.
After cleaning up Mr. Wong's living environment, the volunteers also give the senior a haircut and shave, as well as a shower. Putting on a new set of clothing, the senior now looks fresh and clean.
We hope Mr. Wong can stop piling up recyclables at home. A clean house not only benefits his neighbors, but himself too.
Then volunteers move a new bed frame into the house for the senior. Seeing Mr. Wong smile, the volunteers find their efforts have been worthwhile.
We go to Canada at the end of the show to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Tzu Chi Academy in Mississauga. The school's first graduating class put on a musical adaptation of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to parents. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.